Today, as part of the movement against the cruel, inhumane blockade on Cuba, and to get Cuba off the list of states that sponsor terrorism, I'd like to read a statement that we have endorsed. In recent weeks, Cuba's significant economic challenges, the consequence of the long-running economic blockade in history, longest running economic blockade in history, imposed by the United States for over 60 years to induce suffering amongst the Cuban people, have heightened. At the peak of the hurricane season, the blockade has, through the restrictions on the supply of parts and fuel, caused severe disruption to the Cuban electrical grid, sparking widespread blackouts and impeding efforts to keep Cubans safe. The blockade, including the outrageous designation of Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism, continues to be exploited by the United States and its allies in the media and anti-Cuban terrorist organisations to promote discontent and disruption amongst the Cuban people with the express aim of destroying their revolutionary project. On the eve of the 32nd consecutive United Nations vote to end the United States blockade against Cuba, we are once again faced with the reality that the United States, Israel, and a tiny collection of other proxies continue to inflict suffering on the Cuban people against the will of the peoples of the world, including Australia and New Zealand. The suffering imposed by the United States against Cuba is expressly political and violent act, reflecting their complete disregard for international law and the principles of self-determination. As we all watch in horror at the ongoing genocide being inflicted against the Palestinian people, we are reminded that the insidious horrors of imperialism stretch to all corners of the globe.